The Fast and Furious movies have always been one of my personal favorite franchises to watch, until the last couple of movies. The movies are so over the top and extravagant, it's hard to sit through them. Now, for many, this isn't a massive issue, but seeing some of our favorite characters up in space, like, come on. We can talk smack about F9 all we want, but the numbers don't lie, and the majority of fans did enjoy the far-fetched film. As a new Fast and Furious movie gets released, they always have to up the ante, and we as fans were waiting patiently to see what the newest film had in store for us.
The girl comes with me.
Jacob! I will stop you.
The majority of fans were blown away by this movie. They loved seeing their family members reunited. Okay, we're not going to lie, the movie doesn't deserve the Best Picture award, but it was fun to watch. The movie is completely insane, and we were there for it. The physics made absolutely zero sense. Cars, bodies, car parts, everything was flying in some of the action sequences. Does this make any sense when you think about it for a few minutes? No, not at all. Do we care? No, not at all. If going to space was where F9 ended its insanity, that would be one thing. In fact, while they were up in space, the other family members were still on Earth doing what they do best, driving cars really fast, but this time with electromagnets in the trunk. So maybe electromagnets shouldn't be able to pull sports cars across an entire city block, or maybe you just don't know how magnets work.
I didn't even recognize myself.
That's entirely too much information.
I'm just saying.
Well, one thing's for sure. Tom's got to be either working with them or making a trade, because no one would be this insane to hit this place without a damn army.
The Fast and Furious franchise has had many crazy moments, but one thing that we all love, whether or not you're a fan of the latest movies, is the cast. The franchise has an incredible cast, with some big names like Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, but sadly they sat this movie out after they got their own spin-off. Apart from them, everyone else is back, and we mean everybody. Characters who we thought were dead were actually alive, and characters that we thought we were never going to see again were smack right in the middle of the action. We were so happy to finally see some justice for Han, but in fact there was a lot of justice for Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift going on, and we were there for it. We saw a lot of flashbacks in the movie, and it was great to see a young Dominic and get information on his brother that we didn't even know he had. In Fast 9, we also found out that everyone, especially Tyrese, is immortal. Okay, not really, but Tyrese did say something about all their wacky stunts in the movie. Tyrese noticed that despite all the crazy things that they've been through over the course of the 9 movies, they were all still in one piece. Now, the best part about this is, they're all not only just alive, but they walked away from everything without a scratch. The Fast 9 movie was wacky and had a few overzealous moments, but when it ended, it had to make us cry. You know, in the old Fast and Furious style.
I stayed in touch with him for a while after what happened. Was over buddies for about a year, and then he was gone with a message not to follow.
At the end of the movie, after all the magnets, space, and everything in between, the family comes together, drinking Corona and grilling meat. However, one character is still missing, Brian. We never see his face, but Brian, and by extension, Paul Walker, is acknowledged, and so he does get to join his friends, even if it is only in our minds. At the moment, there are 9 Fast and Furious, and the 10th one is set to release on May 19th, 2023. The movie was set to release on the 6th of April, but was delayed multiple times. So does this mean the end of the Fast and Furious franchise is close? Well, most likely the Fast and Furious franchise is ending due to its longevity. Fast X is already indicating that this is the beginning of the end for the most popular movie franchise ever, Vin Petrol.
Hey, Roman, you freaking out, ain't you?
No.
Yeah, you are.
I said no.
Listen, man, it takes a grown man to embrace his feelings. If you need to cry, just go ahead and cry.
Michelle Rodriguez and Jordana Brewster have been playing these characters for over 20 years. The franchise is arguably already at a point where Vin Diesel's action sequences are starting to become less and less believable. It would be best for Diesel if he ends the franchise while still being able to film scenes that require so much physical requirements. Vin Diesel has also spoken about how he wants to give the audience a real final ending. He said that he was the driving force behind the decision to end end the franchise in the near future. Vin feels that the fans of the main Fast Saga movies deserve a conclusion. Every good story has an ending, so it's better for the franchise's legacy to deliver that in some form. It might be bittersweet for some fans, but much like Avengers Endgame and how it ended the Infinity Saga, it's time for Diesel to end it in the same fashion. So when do you think the Fast and Furious saga is going to end? Well, if you hoped for Fast 12, 13, or 14, you're sadly out of luck. It has been confirmed that Fast and Furious 11 is going to be the last installment of the franchise.
Now see, this I like. Billionaire supercar.
What makes it so super?
242 miles per hour, top speed. And it's bulletproof.
Vin Diesel originally announced plans for Fast X and Fast and Furious 11 at the same time, with Justin Lin expected to direct both of the movies. This decision was directly inspired by the MCU, and the two-part Phase 3 story that unfolded in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. It was originally reported that Fast X and Fast 11 would film back-to-back, which could allow the franchise finale to come out only a short while after the first part. So far, we don't know a lot about Fast 11. But we do know that almost the entire family is going to be in it. It has been teased that Brian could return in some capacity. However, it won't be until after Fast X releases that we will know more about the plot and what's going to happen in Fast and Furious 11. No matter what happens, we can be certain that Fast and Furious 11 is going to be the end of the franchise if there aren't any changes along the way. We do expect to see more Fast and Furious movies in the way of spin-offs. Even Vin Diesel knows that while Dominic Toretto is gone, the others' stories aren't necessarily done yet.
Now that's a serious piece of machinery that could be catastrophic in the wrong hands. But for some very nauseating political reasons, any rescue plans involving any U.S. government forces or entity has been strictly ruled out.
We already know that we're going to get Hobbs and Shaw too, and Vin Diesel has previously teased an all-female Fast and Furious movie. Now that Han is back, a lot of us are hoping to see a sequel to Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Maybe they'll even add Giselle in one way or another. Fast and Furious 10 and 11 can set up stories for some of the new characters as well, or we could maybe even get a young Dominic Toretto prequel movie somewhere down the line. We would love to see more exaggerated scenes in other movies, and the bigger the better, you know. Going to space isn't big enough. We would like to see one of the family members drive on the sun or something crazy like that. We know that isn't actually possible, but with the power of family, anything can happen. Just ask Toretto. But now, what are your thoughts? Do you think that the Fast and Furious franchise should end, or would you like to see more movies? Which spin-off movie would you like to see? And what were your thoughts on the extremely outrageous space scene in Fast and Furious 9? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.